Another thing we're hearing from this generation is the reason that they're not sticking around church is that we are not trustworthy. The church is full of hypocrites. Now, this has been around for decades, this accusation, and you know what? In a sense, it's right. We are hypocrites because we're sinners. We preach holiness and we don't live that way. What we need to do is teach these kids to keep their eyes on the one person who is true and who is holy, rather than looking at the people around. But when they look at the church, they become disillusioned as they see church splits and moral failures, politics, people arguing over the color of the carpet, and not worrying about people in Africa who are starving. This generation is incredibly empathetic towards people who are struggling, and we need to sit up and take notice. If they see just a hint of hypocrisy, they're turned off. They value integrity and transparency and honesty. So that's the sort of thing they should be seeing in the church, rather than the politics and the arguments about money. But unfortunately, we are human. 20% of these families are saying they've walked away because they've become disillusioned. 36% say that the church is full of hypocrites, and 66% have said that scandals and abuse have turned them off. They become disillusioned and they conclude that God is either not real or he's not worth worrying about, because look what happens with these people who preach about him. They're not living what they're preaching. So why continue to be involved with an organization who says one thing and does another? Given that, and given that we are sinners, how do we restore trust in this generation? Well, first, obviously, we have to work to practice what we preach. If we show no care to people outside our group, then we are little more than a country club. The children are seeing this hypocrisy carry into their home, where their parents go to church because it's socially acceptable, and then they come home and they replace the worship songs with cursing and gossip. That is going to result in a disillusionment with this generation. And we need to show that we care about our community. How about, instead of giving them prizes for learning their memory verses, a stuffed animal or a toy, they begin to earn money that converts into buying groceries for a family in need. The perception is that we're negative and we're judgmental and disconnected, and we talk more about the things we're against than what we're for. Instead, we should be using our platform to reach local organizations, encourage them, non-profits and businesses that we could be involved with. How about joining the local Chamber of Commerce or getting involved with the school council? The church is not perfect, and the church will always be full of sinners. But we need to teach our kids that it's better to be on the ark with the smelly animals than to be on the outside of the ark with what's going on. It may stink on the inside, but it beats the heck out of what's going on the outside. So keep their eyes on the perfect person and not on the imperfection around them. But words are not enough, and our behavior must back up what we say. The community needs to see the church in action, and our love for one another should be evident to those outside of our faith. John 13 verse 35 says, "By this all will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another." So we need to restore trust with this generation, living out our faith and caring for other people, and by this the community will know that we are Jesus' disciples. Alphas need to see that in our lives and in our church. Alphas value integrity, transparency, and honesty. Let's give them that and begin to restore trust.
Grace for Kids.